It's no Mike Friday, no Ty Friday. Don't know where my head's at, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. Yep. I'll tell you what. You get an extra hour of sleep and it's just a mess. Anyways, before we get started, we have to thank Valley Converting. For all of their assistance with bringing this to you. Greatly appreciate it. Can't thank them enough. If you don't know about Valley Converting, it is a paper recycling plant that turns old books. If you have an old book that everybody's read, the whole entire neighborhood's read it, or you have some tax records, medical records you want to get rid of, it's a place where you can go and help the environment, help yourself, maybe make a little green.
Every piece of paper has a story. What if that story didn't end when you were done with it?
At Valley Converting, we turn your old paper products into recycled paperboard, continuing the story.
Locally owned and operated in Toronto, Ohio, bringing your paper to Valley Converting isn't just about recycling.
It's about supporting a cleaner, greener future for all of us.
We are here 5 days a week to help you make some green by going green.
And remember,
recycle for your future.
Thank you again to Valley Converting. It is a Friday. It is the final Friday of the Olympics. And still, I believe I heard Mike Tirico, who anchors the NBC coverage of the Olympics, say there will be 31 medal events today. So 31. Oh, today's a big day. Breaking is this sport has gotten more talk about it leading up to these Olympics because everyone's kind of like breakdancing. Really? This is what we're doing now. I've seen the top American male performer. I don't even know if there's a male performance and a female performance. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on the breaking, but I saw him on a story, and what he's doing is amazing. The core strength and everything else that goes along with it, and just the cardiovascular, it's sensational. So I'm going to be curious, be very interested to see that this weekend. I believe it's tonight. They took the 3-on-3 basketball courts, turned it into the breaking arena for the weekend. So we have that going on. We have more track and field going on. Plenty of action with the Americans. Tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, the United States goes for gold in the women's soccer tournament. They play, I believe it's 11 a.m. Eastern time. So you have that. Looking forward to that. I think I actually have something to do at 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'm telling everybody they know. And telling you out there too, don't let me know. I do not want to know. I will go home. I will watch the game. I will not find out because I want to watch the game. It'll kind of like if the basketball is going on and I have something to do, I will not watch. I will not let anybody know. I just want to watch those games. So those are big. So that's coming up this weekend. But the big deal today, the Hall of Fame game. Little gnat there. Hall of Fame game up in Canton last week, it could have been 2 weeks ago for all I know. I completely missed it. Just, I was going on, it's Hall of Fame weekend. Okay. But this weekend, Steelers, Browns, the NFL gets after it in earnest with the preseason games. Now, preseason games, are they all that exciting? No. But for the Steelers this year, you have an opportunity to see who may or may not be playing quarterback. They have Russell Wilson on the roster. They have Justin Fields on the roster. Justin Fields coming over from Chicago, Wilson from Denver, of course, the Super Bowl champion with Seattle. So you'll get to see them. Well, at least Justin Fields today anyways. Russell Wilson was held out a little bit of a calf strain, and it's kind of, lingered a little bit. And so it'll be interesting to see exactly how they divvy everything up. If Russell Wilson's even on the field, because according to the head coach, Mike Tomlin, he has said he's in the pole position for the top spot. But Charlie Batch, who I covered and hosted some shows with while I was up in Pittsburgh, I heard him on the radio today talking about Justin Fields. So he really liked the way he's playing. But he said preseason game changes. It starts to ramp up a little bit. You have to get in and out of the huddle cleanly. You have to make sure that you have all of your calls. And all of a sudden you're playing and it's live fire from the defense. So he's interested to see how he will do with all those things today for the Steelers. What do you think about the Steelers? What do you think? That they have a big year coming? A lot of people do. Some people think they'll be about the same as they were last year, maybe a game over 500. Then the Cleveland Browns, they will take on Green Bay tomorrow in Cleveland. And one of the things that a lot of people talked about with the Browns that I've heard this week is about that new possibility of a new stadium out at Brook Park, I believe the area is. I'm not exactly familiar with where that is, but I like the stadium down on the water. But it's one of those things where, it's you have home field advantage. Do you go inside? It kind of looks like the SoFi Stadium a little bit in terms of the way they have it set up. If they indeed were to do that, the great thing about a stadium like that is you can have concerts all year long. You can have other sporting events all year long. You could host an NCAA Final Four in a stadium like that. So there's a lot of advantages to having that. But then at the same time, Cleveland football outside December. It's one of those things that it's kind of like the Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Ravens. They just all belong outside when they're playing. But I get it. And if you build a stadium like that, do the Browns get a Super Bowl? Probably. So right now, to find out what she thinks about the upcoming season, Jordan, the native of Latrobe, as the natives say it, like she does, or Latrobe, if you want to say it that way. Steelers, first preseason game. I know. I've heard that you have tickets to go to the first game of the regular season. You're at home the home game.
Opener. Yeah,
the home opener. How excited are you about this team and getting the season started today?
I think I'm more nervous.
More nervous?
Yeah,
okay.
Excited and nervous.
All right.
I don't know what to expect.
What are you nervous about?
Quarterback situation.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. If you had your choice, who would you go? Now I know we haven't really seen him play in the Steelers offense. Oh, that's the other thing. That's the thing that I think makes you really nervous. Quarterbacks are okay. You've got a new offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, came over from Atlanta as the head coach, head coach, but then he had 10 years with Tennessee, had Henry at running back, and then he became the OC, and they had a really good run-heavy offense that did really well. What do you think about your offense? We'll have to wait and see. She's looking at me like we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So do you think? What do you think? Do you have a prediction for the season?
As far as like
record or
I don't know. I need to. I got to watch this preseason game to get more of a vibe.
Now, are you a fan that watches all the preseason games, sits down, really pays attention to them, breaks them down?
Not normally, but I feel like this year
there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on. A lot you can learn. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Cleveland Browns. What do you think? Be nice.
Just be nice.
What do you think of the possibility of them building a new indoor stadium, kind of like SoFi? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. I'm not a Browns fan, so
I can tell.
There's not much.
But okay, let's put it this way. Greater Steubenville area where we work is about 2 hours to Cleveland, give or take, depending on what part of Cleveland you go to. Now I know. You kind of taking a step back from the whole Taylor Swift thing, for you, but you were all in during the middle of the Eras tour. But you think so? Let's say, or maybe it could be another band, could be another event. Let's say they build this stadium. Taylor Swift is coming.
Oh, I'll be there.
Yeah. So a new stadium up there is not going to hurt. It really wouldn't, because for people that don't live right in Cleveland, and it's maybe a few hour drive. If it's a brand new indoor stadium, then that's a destination place to go.
100% for anything. Yeah, definitely.
All right. If it wasn't Taylor Swift, what would be the next band that Jonas Brothers?
Oh yeah.
I think they'd fill it. I think they would. I think it would be sold out.
Any country concert too would be cool in there.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know exactly where that part of. I'm gonna have to look up exactly where the part of Cleveland is, because I'm not 100% sure. Now, my sister-in-law lives up there, so I could call her and say, where are we going? Where is this place? So the stadium, okay, so the Browns, you're not worried about. Ravens, you're worried about?
Oh, God.
Bengals, you're worried about? So basically, Jordan says the Steelers are winning the division and going to the Super Bowl.
No, no, I don't think that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, though. I think it's going to be an interesting season. I think for the entire AFC North.
Yeah.
So, Browns fans, they get to see the Packers tomorrow. Here's my thing with the Browns. Deshaun Watson has to step up. The Browns, they gave him the money. And in Houston, He performed, got himself in some issues. Those are behind him now. He's been on the field. He's been banged up with some injury. I mean, that's just football. You're going to get injured.
Mhm.
But $250 million basically was guaranteed to him. They need some return on their investment. They don't want to see Joe Flacco at the end of the season.
No.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see, because if he doesn't play well, then the Browns are going to be in trouble. I really think they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
But I think the Browns will be. Browns went to the playoffs last year. I don't know, improved. That's an inch, because you had Chubb that got hurt against the Steelers, and
That's
then
right.
so that's an interesting. Then Joe Burrow. He's the guy.
Yeah.
They've got. I was watching that last night. Jordan, you need to watch this. Is Ayuk trade going to be too high of a cost for the team?
I think it could.
At this point, who knows? Seriously, at this point, I moved on from it.
I know, like they've been hyping this up, and then it's been
just,
like all week.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It happens. It doesn't happen.
I did see. I don't know how true this is, but I did see yesterday that they want a wide receiver for him.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to give up.
No, who do the Steelers don't have a wide receiver to give up?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, and that's the thing. You start getting this close to the regular season, and for a guy like Ayuk, you're going to make a trade, because all you need to do is you get in the huddle and I don't know the play. Okay, you run a skinny post, you run a flag pattern, you run an out, you run a dig, you run a whatever it is. He'll be able to do it. That's not an issue. But if you don't have a wide receiver to give up, and you don't have anyone to give up, and they don't necessarily want draft picks because they think they can go back to the Super Bowl,
right?
But they don't want him. This really was a great line, and this I think goes for any business. When Mike Tomlin said, we don't want to have people that don't want to be here. We want, what did he say? We don't want prisoners. We want volunteers or something like that about work. Like, if you don't want to be here, we don't need you.
Yeah.
So I think 49ers are like, all right, Ayuk, if you don't want to be here, we'll figure something out. But yeah, I don't know who's gonna pay the price, because he wants a $30 million deal. He's a really good receiver, but Devontae Adams out in Vegas. He's only making 23. Now, if he gets to another contract, he'll make a lot more than that. But, so you're going to have to pay him plus give up a lot of players. It might be too rich. Ron. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But, that's the great thing. That's a great story. And here's the other thing I love. Well, the Steelers need to win every game in the first half of the season, because the back half schedule is going to be so difficult. We don't know what any of these teams are going to be like. This is the one thing I learned about covering these teams every day, being at Steelers practice every day, then going on the road to these cities and seeing these teams and everything. The season starts and you think you have a certain team. You think they're going to be X, Y, and Z. And sometimes they don't turn out to be X, Y, and Z. They turn out to have some injuries that makes them a team late in the season where you go, oh, this is now a very winnable game. When at the beginning of the season, when you're trying to do who's going to win what, it didn't look like it was winnable. So, all right, I should put my glasses on so I can read this. Right. Most starters reported not playing tonight, so I don't think we will.
Yeah, that's true.
Know if this team is any good until September. Absolutely. But here's the deal. Here is the deal with these preseason games. These are the guys that make up the guts of your roster. You're going to have your superstar. For example, you have Ben Roethlisberger, you have Troy Polamalu, you have Ryan Clark, you had Hines Ward, you had Jerome Bettis, you had Alan Faneca, you had Ferrier, and all these guys. Those are your starters, and those guys that play. Most players don't play even close to 10 years. It's about 2.5, maybe 3 years, if they're lucky. That's why if you look at they become vested, I'd have to check and see if there's a new timeline. But I think it's 4 years to get vested in for your pension. So a lot of guys in the National Football League, if they can get to 4 years, that's what they want to do, and then they get their pension, then they're taken care of. So the guys that maybe we don't recognize, when you look down a 53-man roster, and it's kind of like, oh, I didn't know he was on team. I didn't know he was on. Those are the guys that you get to see tonight. Like, hey, I really like the way that guy played. And then if you see him make the roster, okay, yeah, I thought he was pretty good. So even though you might not get to see the starters, as long as you would like. The guys that are going to be on the special teams, going to be on the field goals, going to be on the punt coverage, going to be, are the backups that you absolutely have to need. Those are the guys that you can pay attention to tonight and see if they have an opportunity. But I'm not much of a preseason football guy either. I mean, I had to cover it and all those things. And you do. You learn about the team, you learn about how they put it together. So it's interesting to a point, but at the same time, you want to see the starters, but it's not the regular season. You're gonna have to wait a couple weeks. Browns, they start the season for the preseason tomorrow at home in Cleveland with Green Bay. Steelers at home tonight, and you can see that game on WTOV 9.
Fox 9.
Fox 9, one of the stations of Fox 9. All right, let's see. And then the Cincinnati, yeah, and Cincinnati's at home as well tomorrow against Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah,
Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Did the Browns give up on Baker Mayfield too soon?
I don't think so.
It was going a little sideways up there. Everybody was getting a little irritated with Baker. So, but I'll tell you what, he went down to Tampa Bay, did pretty well, got into the playoffs last year, got himself a nice little contract. Do you think in the future it will be pay to view NFL? Well, it kind of is already with some stuff. If you want Sunday ticket and
if you want to watch like
what is it, the Red Zone?
Yeah. If you want to watch like every team.
So do you have that?
I don't have it.
You're speaking like a woman that has purchased the Red Zone. And
I do not have Sunday ticket. I wish. It's too much money.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's too
Isn't
much
it like $300 or something like that?
I don't know. One of my friends.
And I don't want to watch every game.
Yeah.
I mean, I have certain teams I would watch, but I don't need to. The national games are the best games of the weekend usually. So why do I want to pay for that? Got enough other stuff to pay for. But yeah, at some point I think maybe. But at the same point,
I mean, it's kind of we have the Christmas game on Netflix. Like you have to have Netflix to watch that. So it's kind of.
And then on Thursday nights, Prime Video.
Yeah, you have to have Amazon Prime. Yep.
Thank you, Isabella, for being in college and getting that membership for Prime Video for basically nothing. So that's how I get to watch those games.
So
Thursday night games, I watch
kind
them.
of becoming that.
Yeah, so you are paying already. And then if you're paying cable, if you're paying for your cable bill or your YouTube bill or whatever, you're already kind of paying for it. But I just don't. If NBC, CBS, ABC, the big networks that are over the air are still involved and are paying billions of dollars to get these games, I don't think it'll eventually. I don't think it will be a pay situation. I could see the Super Bowl becoming a pay situation.
Yeah.
And remember this. This is how far the Super Bowl has come. This is how far the National Football League has come. Back at Super Bowl I, wasn't sold out in the LA Coliseum. Kansas City and the Packers won. And 2 networks broadcast the game. NBC and I think CBS both broadcast the game. And they didn't know what was going to happen. And then it's just taken off. So Ron, yeah, I think it could be down the road. I think it already is to a certain extent. But at this point, you sit back, relax, and enjoy it if you can. Kind of excited to listen to Rob King's first game. Yeah, that will be interesting. That will be very interesting. Rob's a good dude. Rob's a really good guy. He'll do a good job. I think he'll do a good job. He'll probably be a little bit nervous, but he will do a nice job. Excited for him. Excited for Bill Hillgrove. He decided, hey, it's time to step away from the Steelers. He's still going to do the Pitt games. So excited for him to have some extra time with his family. But I'm really excited for Rob to get an opportunity to do that. So looking forward to that as well. So right now, though, I'm excited about the weekend, excited about the Olympics. A lot going on still there. NFL preseason. I'll just mention them real quickly because National VP Day or Veep Day. Veep. So if you're like a vice president or something of anything.
Wait, what? Really?
Let me double check it. I remember the show. I think it was an HBO show. It was Julie Louis-Dreyfus, who was on Seinfeld. It was called Veep. Funny show. Very funny show. What am I looking for here? All right. Hold on. National calendar. I got to look up exactly what this is.
Oh, you're looking them up? Yeah,
I'm going to look up. Okay, here we go. Today. This is exciting. All right, here we go. National Veep Day. And they have a picture of the podium like you would see outside the White House. August 9th recognizes the succession plan of the President of the United States today also acknowledges the one president who was neither elected vice president nor president, Gerald Ford. So if you remember Gerald Ford, a little history lesson for everybody. Gerald Ford was the vice president for Richard Nixon, and then took over for Nixon after the whole Watergate scandal. And then Gerald Ford probably could have won re-election in 76, but he pardoned Nixon, and a lot of people were really not happy with that. But he made a good decision because, I mean, it would have gotten into even more chaos than it was. And then he ran against Jimmy Carter, and Jimmy Carter won. By the way, Jimmy Carter still kicking it. Still kicking it. Everybody thought, Rosalind Carter, his wife, and he went into hospice, but he is still getting it done. Kicking. He's closing in on 100 years old, right?
October 2nd.
October 2nd.
He'll be 100.
Former President Carter will be, or just President Carter. I mean,
and they're having a birthday party for him.
On the 2nd?
No, before.
Oh, they're having it early. They're having an early one. Okay.
Which might not be the best idea, but.
This has been an interesting, because I remember when he went into hospice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, how many stations nationally were sending stuff like, hey, you can get a story on.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen? He's making. You think
I think
he's going to make
making it to his birthday.
You know why? He's a bit of a badass. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what.
President Carter, think that is crazy. He is still. I mean, again, still on hospice, and
But
I think that is insane.
He was president of the United States. A lot of people took him to task. A lot of people said he was too nice a person to be the president of the United States. He wasn't hard enough. And he tried. People bring up the hostage situation, and he did all kinds of stuff he was doing his best.
What was that? He was like building houses, right?
And then after he gets out of being the president,
what is it called?
Houses for Humanity, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But he won the Nobel Peace Prize for that. He did a lot of good things.
He was doing that
till last week. I mean, basically, I mean, he was. I mean, so President Carter, that is one tough man. That is one tough man who served his country, did it to the best of his ability, and then served the world as just a good person, and really an example for people to look up to. Like, hey, all right, this guy, he doesn't need to go out and. I mean, he didn't just like put his name on it.
No,
he was out there. He was out there with his wife.
Yeah,
they're banging nails, putting up walls, and it wasn't. It was one of those. There was one time, didn't he? I think there was a story that one time he was getting heat exhaustion because he was out there all day putting these walls up, and it was
like building all these.
President Carter, you don't need to do this. We have other people that will do this.
He didn't care. He didn't care.
He's a peanut farmer from Georgia, from Plains, Georgia. So he's really. I remember Nixon because of the Watergate, and I remember watching on TV the hearings.
Like we can't talk about him too much.
Oh yeah, well no, it's okay. It's okay. He's got the strength of at least 40-something other presidents. So yeah. So we wish President Carter well. I'm not sure exactly how we got on President Carter, but we did. So there we go. And this gnat is not going to make it. All right, here we go. So we're in overtime. It's the weekend.
Way over.
You guys need to get running. I need to get running. Ron, thank you so much for joining in. Well, this is what we'll talk about. We got some games to break down, and the final weekend of the Olympics to break down coming up Monday, and a bunch of other stuff. So, Jordan, thanks for joining us. I guess you're gonna be locked into the Steelers game later tonight.
I'm gonna try.
She's going out. She'll watch it. She'll watch it at the restaurant. She's having dinner. I don't even know I'm going to watch it. See, that's the thing.
I'm like, what time is it at?
Let's go. Olympics, preseason football. Olympics. All right, everybody.
I don't even know what time it's at. Sorry.
Well, with the time of the game?
7, 8?
I think it's 7. This is how much I know. Yes, it's 7. It's on 7 on Fox 9.
Yeah, there we go.
What are we thinking? Yeah, it's on Fox 9. So make sure you tune in to Fox 9. Yep, Fox 9, 7 o'clock. 2 other games will be played tonight too. Falcons, Dolphins, Eagles, Ravens. So lots to look out for. But hey, remember everybody, 2 rules, especially on the weekend.
2 rules.
Have fun and try your best. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you.